Morning traders. So it was quite the slow week, but it was a green week and we are well on our way to getting back over that $120,000 mark. Today we traded 6 tickers, kind of a little bit too many. And today I actually want to dive a little bit more in the news than I usually do because I kind of feel like it's important today based on the news and the price action correlation. So let's go to the trading charts and see what's going on. So here we have it. Here are the tickers I traded. And I want to focus on ADXN, TBLT, and SIDU. Now I didn't really get aggressive on any one of these tickers. I didn't love today. You guys will see this near the end of my trading video where I was just scratching a lot today, and only right at the end I was able to get green, and then I walked away, although I probably could have traded ADXN a little bit more. It's an interesting ticker, but man, you could really see the sellers on this one. And right now it is just having that nice little pop right here. Big resistance around $2, so it had just a bit of a flush, and I feel like I felt it coming, although I called out a nice 5-minute move that I did not trade. It's a biotech company, 6 million shares outstanding and a $12 million market cap. Now, if you go to the catalyst here, it's a bit weird. It says company's reduction of nominal values of shares. Basically, they're reducing the amount of shares outstanding, which is a little bit, you could think about like a share buyback program in a way to increase the stock price, which for a company like this, I feel like there might be an offering coming. There's really not many reasons you'd want to do that, especially if your stock price was literally at 0.86 cents. So I'm a little bit skeptical. They do have some financial guidance here. They got like 6-month runway. I don't know. I'm not super optimistic on this company, and somehow it's just popping up a lot today. I just feel like there's a lot of manipulation behind this ugly stock chart. Not to mention, if they continue below $1, they're going to get delisted from the NASDAQ. So they need their stock price to go up basically, but they also need capital, which basically means offering coming, or else they're going to go bankrupt. So if you go to the 5-minute, you can really feel this action somehow. And here's the 5-minute chart right down here. They had a quick pop on the news and they sold off almost entirely. And this is how everything felt on this ticker, where there would be a pop and then you would just be encountered by so many sellers. So fast forward here to the market open, we're reaching this double top, and this is where I was trading it a little bit. Somehow I wasn't able to get green because every time it popped up, it would sell right back off. Right here, classic example, popped up and sold right back off, popped up, sold off quite aggressively. And then right in this area, I wrote in the Discord, I was like, hey, you know, ADXN is actually quite a nice 5-minute chart, but I just got green for like the first time of the day, and somehow I didn't want to trade this one. And then actually this one popped up, had a nice breakout, and then instantly just went red again. And I was like, what is that? And we saw that across the board today on so many different tickers. I mean, it's a mix of like being in a bear market. It's just a very slow summer as well. And then, you know, these sketchy tickers. So this one popped up, sold right back off, and then somehow slowly throughout the minute crawled back up, kept crawling up, pulled back again. This actually is like a perfect setup right here. This is a nice 5-minute setup, 1-minute pullback, and then it pops again, just to have another flush. I don't know how I would have traded this one. I could really see myself doing a lot of mistakes. Even if I bought perfectly here in anticipation, there's a good chance I would have just closed out for break even when it flushed right back down. So it's like, it's a sketchy day. Kind of sucks that I missed it, ADXN, but you could just feel that there's sellers in this company. You could just feel that there's people just dropping everything and trying to sell everything they can. That's literally how it feels in the order book. So I'm skeptical on seeing how this company's going to hold up. And that was a big red volume candle right there. So I would be very careful. Now with TBLT, for example, this ticker was also very flushy. And let's go to the 1-minute again. Just this is a disaster ticker. It's just selling off. It looks like I have so many support lines here because we're really focusing basically on the micro action here a little bit more. It's just a weird ticker as well. Industry, textile, 2 million shares outstanding, 11 million market cap. Okay. In terms of their news, you can see right here, TBLT jumped 36%, blah, blah, blah. They recently announced Q2 gross sales through Amazon that were $3.56 billion, representing a 20% year-over-year increase. Not the greatest news. It's not like super interesting, and 20% increase year-over-year is not really a ticker that we're usually trading. But hey, you know, in the summertime, you kind of get what you can get. And I guess I'm not the only one that thinks that, because every time TBLT popped up, it just flushed right back down, making this ticker pretty tricky to trade. I tried to trade it a few times pre-market to get some momentum, but none of it really lasted very long. And then at the market open, it actually finally did the move I was waiting for, but I came in late on this one. And then I was kind of just, I don't know, I didn't have any trust left in it. And then right here, this was a really annoying. I had a limit order right this area. The price goes right below my limit order and I don't get filled for some reason. And then it pops up 5%. And I'm just like, you know, what do you say at that moment? I traded a few more times here looking for a similar pop, but you could just feel the sellers on this one as well. And then I basically sold everything on the way up here. It popped up for like a microsecond just before flushing down again. So you got to watch out. You know, these aren't great catalysts. These aren't great tickers, and we're in a bear market. So you just got to be careful. You know, trading the range right now definitely pays off. I'm not a crazy range trader, but at the same time, a little bit anticipation before the breakout and then even selling before the breakout is kind of the good risk reward way to do it. SIDU by far, I think, had the best news, but it wasn't a great ticker to necessarily be trading. Let's just go to the daily chart. I think I got a little bit lucky on this one. Decent relative volume here. Aerospace company, 17 million shares outstanding. That's nice. 77 million market caps. Okay, so checks off a lot of stuff. That's usually what we're looking for. If you guys want to see my checklist, go to the start page and you'll see it. The catalyst of this one I felt like was a little bit more interesting here, having some collaborations with NASA. I do like that. I love smaller companies working with larger companies or the government. It's always really good, especially if it's a big contract winner or something like that. Relative volume today specifically, though, is a little bit less, and we've been on a multi-day move here. We're approaching big resistance. So it was like a better ticker overall, but the price action is kind of slowing down. Momentum's falling off. And that's where we are trading it today. I traded 6 tickers today, which is just way too many. First, it pops up here, and I just do a few kind of shot in the dark trades here. Nothing really worked out too well. And then right here, this ticker on the 5-minute was looking okay, where we were getting this pullback right here to this VWAP and 9 EMA zone. And I remembered like, oh, this ticker flushed last time. It was trying to break out. So I was thinking, I don't want to get in early on this one. I feel like there's a good chance it's going to keep selling off and maybe scratch me out. So I ended up waiting, and eventually it did sell off. I got a pretty decent entry. I could have sized up maybe a little bit more, maybe like a 2.5 thousand share trade would have been better. That would have been like 2, maybe close to 3x average size. So that would have been a little bit better. And I actually ended up holding into this breakout and selling into this breakout here. So this was a really, really good trade. And this got me back in the green today. I was red all day. And after this trade is basically when ADXN popped up, and I was like, do I really want to trade ADXN? I mean, nothing is working out today. It's just so many scratches. So that's why I didn't trade ADXN into this breakout like we were talking about after this 5-minute flag. And now it's crawling up again. I don't know. Anything's possible, but wow, this one is really, really not for me. Good luck if you are trading it. Let me know in the comments below if you nailed ADXN. Hats off to you. I'm definitely having a little bit of FOMO for sure watching ADXN, for sure, because I felt like this move was happening, but I just couldn't trust it based on everything we were seeing today. Oh, well. In terms of these other tickers, they were just all shots in the dark, basically dipping my toes in. So DTSS, just a small win here. Nothing really too interesting. I traded it in this area, and then I didn't trade anymore. And boom, here my trades pop up. So a little bit here, but this ticker literally felt like it died in my hands. And the volume was just very light on it, so not too interesting. KOLD, similar situation, just wasn't that interesting. And look at this massive flush. I don't know what happened here. It almost looks like an offering. There's not even any news to justify that, so that's just disgusting. I did trade it here, but there was almost no volume. I'm not even really sure why I traded this one. That was just boredom, I guess, pre-market. I guess I can close this. And then OLMA, the ticker I'm actually most red on. This is one of those classic situations where you just go for a trade and it just doesn't work out. You'll see I went for this pullback right here and it just failed. And again, I'm trying to get out quicker, but I didn't do my best exit here. And that's why I was red quite a bit. But still just, fairly small loss. It didn't bother me that much. But that's why, on a first ticker that just pops up, I'm doing half average size. And I got to get quicker at cutting these losses when they sell off. But, pre-market when these things just dump, it's really, really tough to get out because you can't do a market order. And oftentimes you're just chasing down in a very illiquid stock. And you're basically the exact reason it's selling off because you and several other people are doing exactly the same thing, just trying to get out and close the position. It's never a fun place to be. So here you have my stats today. And I got to say, I'm pretty proud because my risk reward here is positive. It's almost double, which is almost never the case. Very, very rare. My total winners and total losers are exactly even, which is also basically never happens. I did give back quite a bit of profits. I didn't have the highest profit margin today, but that's fine. It was just, a lot of testing waters. Whenever there's 6 tickers that I traded, that's just never a good sign. And down here, you'll see that OLMA trade. This is the one I took an unnecessarily sized loss on. Wasn't able to cut my losses quick enough. And for some reason, I sized up way too much on a ticker that wasn't even that good. But luckily, I also used decent size on some of the better setups later on in the day. So that was good as well. Here's that SIDU, that last trade. This is the one I was saying I could have done maybe 2.5 thousand shares. I definitely should have done over 10K size on SIDU right here. This was a pretty good setup. So a lot of times it's all about being patient and waiting for that right setup. I don't mind dipping my toes and trying these situations, because sometimes you got to get a feeling for a ticker, and then you know if you should really start sizing into it. And that's really what a lot of these trades are. But SIDU just popped up quick, and that was kind of the first time I was trading it since way earlier, pre-market, right here in this area. So I wasn't really comfortable yet trading it. But yeah, this was a pretty good setup, and I should have really sized it. That could have been the one trade that just, paid for the whole day. It still was, but it was a small profit. Maybe a small dollar profit, but still actually a pretty nice P&L percentage. Yeah, and then you could really see with my running P&L, I mean, just like scratch central today. One step forward, one step back so many times, and then I had that SIDU trade, and then I just called it. I was like, this is not the market for me. So it was a nice green week here. Tomorrow I'm off. I'm going to be traveling tomorrow. I'm going to go to the UK. Friends having this kind of festival in the woods for the weekend. So I'm going to play Forest Gnome for the weekend. We'll see what happens. Still haven't fully recovered from last week. This was just really rough because I hit max loss twice, and not good. Maybe in the summertime, just by default, like Q2 and Q3, I'm just always going to do half max loss. That might be a really good idea. So that basically means I would move it from $1,000 max loss to $500 max loss. I don't see that actually being a bad thing. I should probably really consider it, and maybe go into next week with only $500 max loss. I think that's enough for this recap. Don't forget, if you guys want to learn more about my trading strategy, check out tradejournal.co/start. I'll link it here. I'm still getting on those 1-to-1 trading barrier breakthrough calls as long as Trade Journal is still in beta mode. Have a great weekend, everyone, and like always, stay safe and make some awesome trades. Ciao, ciao.